and welcome to Holistic Healthline Radio. I am so excited. I have a surprise guest today. Kimberly Barnouin, New York Times best-selling author who wrote Skinny Bitch. She has been featured on Ellen DeGeneres' show, Tyra Banks, and Today's Show on NBC. Kim, thank you so much for being here. I am extremely ecstatic that you would even come on my show today.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me. It's so sweet of you.
Oh, well, you know I'm so sweet.
You are.
Thank you for being here. I am so excited. I have many questions to ask, so let's just dive in right away. So, can you tell all of our listeners who is Kim Barnouin? Who's Skinny Bitch?
Kim Barnouin? That is a hard-hitting question, I know. No, but thank you so much for wanting me to be on here. And I basically am just some lucky girl who thought it was going to be fun to write a book a million years ago, and it worked. And that said, I was a high school dropout, and my writing partner at the time was paying people to write her term papers. So here we are, two girls that have no business writing a book, decided to write a book. And it really started because I was unhealthy and I was sick and I couldn't afford health insurance, and I was trying to figure out, what am I going to do to heal myself? So I realized that inevitably food was what healed me. So then I run to my friend and I said, we have to write a book about this. And we did. And it was mainly from friends and family saying, what's your secret? What did you do? And can we do the same thing? That was it.
Wow. So let me back up for a minute. A high school dropout. How did your mom feel about that? And then all of a sudden you told her, I'm going to write a book.
Well, you know what's funny is I actually left a note for my mom not to wake me up, and I told her I was dropping out of school that day, and I'm sure she had a heart attack and crapped her pants a little bit, and then she was like, okay, this is my daughter, lovely. But then a few years later, I got my stuff together, and now she's very proud of me and thinks it's hysterical that that girl turned out to be this girl.
Wow, good for her. She had confidence. She believed in you.
Yeah, there was a couple seconds where she didn't, but...
For sure. Well, did you ever graduate from high school or get your GED?
I did. I got my GED the year before all my friends were graduating, so I was ahead of the game.
Oh my God. First you stop and drop out, and then you get your GED before they graduate, and you're ahead of the game and you've already written a book.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Can I have your autograph?
Oh, I gave it to you already.
That's true.
I gave it to you twice.
That's true. I need it one more time.
Okay.
Oh my God. You're amazing, Kim. Wow. So what was your first book that you wrote?
So Skinny Bitch, which is the original book, and that was basically, it's funny, we hid a vegan diet into what looked like a chick-lit book. And a lot of people got kind of annoyed by it because they bought the book and they're like, this isn't what I thought it was, but oh my God, I love the book. So, the whole point was marketing, and that was the whole thing for the name, was just to get people's attention. It was never to say, I think everyone should be skinny bees, whatever. Skinny is not healthy, but it was just to sell books and to get people's attention, and it worked. We got people talking, and they opened the book, a lot of great information, and it was funny because we wanted to write it in a way that it educated people, made them laugh at the same time. But I think you retain more information that way when you can laugh at a book than if you're just, textbook after textbook. They're wonderful, but sometimes they can put you to sleep.
Right, and I mean, you reached, I'm one of your audience, I'm one of your fans. You reached out to me by all of your vulgar language. For all of our listeners, if you have not read her books, she uses the S word, the B word. What other words do you have in your book?
There's some F words in there too.
Oh, this is my kind of girl. This is my kind of girl.
And I'm so holding it together for your fancy show, so I don't say it on air.
I wish we could. I really
want to drop an F-bomb so bad.
Mother. Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan because, I'm the type of person that as soon as I started reading your books, it was so down to earth and real because I tend to have a potty mouth myself. And when someone else has a potty mouth and I can read it in a book and see the words, it related to me, caught my attention, and intrigued me. So immediately I wanted to know more about you. I wanted to know what your recipes were, what you thought about, home stuff in the kitchen and your medicine cabinets, your makeup. I mean, that's what we're actually going to get into as one of the books you wrote, all about the chemicals and metals in your house and how to remove them. But I love your verbiage. I mean, just for a quick example, she has a book titled Home Beauty and Style. Skinny Bitch Home Beauty and Style, and one of her chapters is called the S list. All right, that's a 4-letter word I will let all of you figure out, okay? But the S list, I immediately said, I have to know what that list is. So I'm reading through it, and it's a ton of chemicals and metals that you write about. Can you tell us, first before we get into what it is, what even drew you to write about chemicals, metals, stuff in your home, that kind of stuff from the baking stuff?
Well, it's funny. So right after we did Skinny Bitch was the original book, we got asked to do a cookbook. And it was just a cute little, introduction to being vegan, and it was nice. It did well, and people liked it. But we wanted to elaborate, and we were thinking, what else can we do? Oh, let's get to pregnant women. So we did Skinny Bitch Bun in the Oven. And at that time, I was pregnant as well. So I was doing a lot of research about pregnancy and how important it is to be eating during pregnancy, and everything you're putting on your skin, everything you ingest is getting to your baby. So that immediately just opened up a ton of new doors. So, we did the book. People got a little scared because they thought, we're trying to tell pregnant women they should be skinny during pregnancy. It's like, it's just the name of the book, people. Get over it.
Right, it's the brand, right?
It's just the brand, that's it. So I kept a lot of that research aside, and I thought, maybe one day I'm going to dig deeper into this. So, fast forward a few years, I did a kind of what I call a grown-up cookbook. And it's called Skinny Bitch Ultimate Everyday Cookbook. And that kind of dives into, it's still vegan, but it's really, I call adult food. Skinny Bitch in the Kitchen was a fun book, but it was more of like introduction to the vegan world of eating, but this is more of grown-up cookbook. And next I did the Home Beauty and Style, and that was when I just, finding out about things that were going on in our home was mainly because of my son. He was about 2 when we moved to Santa Monica. The house we lived in, ultimately we found out was full of mold, and he was really sick, always really sick. And we had this amazing allergist who thought outside of the box. And honestly, we've talked about doctors, and
right,
they're wonderful, but sometimes they don't think outside the box. And this doctor was so great, and she said, I really need you to investigate other ways to find out what's going on with your son. Like, it's not just food, there's something else. And we did allergy testing, and she said, get an organic mattress, get organic cotton sheets. I mean, we were getting the, good vacuum cleaners and changing his carpet and cleaning out his stuffed animals. Like, we did everything, and it made me research, and that's where this book was born.
Wow.
There was a lot of stuff, but this great allergist, Dr. Kathy Green.
Oh, wow. Give a shout out to her.
I know, Kathy, you're awesome. Yeah, she changed our life. It helped my son a lot. And then as soon as we moved, he was fine. But, because of his illness, I got this great book. Thanks, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. Oh my gosh, your poor son suffered for your
art.
For your art. Oh gosh. Okay, so what do you talk about in this book, specifically on the S list? Oh, I really want to say it.
I know you do. So do I. And it looks good in print, doesn't it?
It looks so good. It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah, I like it too.
That's what's so fun about her, Kim. I love it. I love that you're all out there. You're so creative. You're smart. You're intelligent. You're very beautiful.
Thank you. Well,
done a great job.
Right back at you. You're the same.
Oh, goodness.
We're right here.
Thank you.
The two of us.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with
that. Are you verklempt?
I'm verklempt.
I am too.
Darling. So let's talk about a couple of the ingredients that you have on here. Lead and mercury. These are heavy metals that I actually find in my clients all the time. Mm-hmm. They can be in fillings, right? Dental fillings. They can be in pots and pans. Lead can be galvanized pipes. So water we're drinking out of the tap water can be harmful. So many people, what a great example of your son. I'm sorry that he had to suffer But what a great example, because some of us, or most of us, don't really know the molds and leads and metals that are within the new building materials, or carpets, or mattresses that get infused through the skin and float in the bloodstream and affect our organs function.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And at first I was thinking, well, it's a mattress, like what's the big deal? But when you think they're trying to make the mattresses flame retardants and they're spraying so many chemicals on them, we're sleeping, we spend so much time in our beds, we're just ingesting everything that's off-gassing from our mattresses. So yeah, I'm out there looking online for organic mattresses, and I'm like, this is crazy, but it's not anymore. It makes total sense to me now.
Were they expensive when you were looking for organic mattresses?
They were expensive, but the thing is, we used them for years. They were such good mattresses.
I did want to point out, because it talks about your first sentence is heavy metals used as coloring in mascaras, hair dyes, lipstick, and eye makeup that are easily absorbed by skin where they build up in fatty tissues. I mean, honey, I'm a woman. I use all these things. I'm a Lancome mascara user, so I'm very aware that it's not exactly a clean, pure mascara, but it's hard for all of us women, and all of my listeners listening. We all have different types of metals and chemicals in our face powder, our foundation, our eyeliners, and it seeps in through the skin, and I think we just are so used to putting it on, we don't realize that there can be ill effects.
It's so true, and I didn't even think about this because, I'm out there as a consumer, at the grocery store, the drugstore or the beauty counter buying all this stuff. You think about it now, we're 2014, there's so many companies now that are becoming aware of this, and they're making more organic, natural beauty products, which is so great. And you know what? I'm sure that people are out there thinking, my gosh, that's overwhelming. There's so many things I'm going to have to think about now. It's not just like what's in our food and what's in our drinks, but now my makeup, you're crazy. I'm not giving it up. But
right.
You do the best you can, though, You
do. And not to mention nail polish remover. The list is so long. But you are right. We are very lucky to have Whole Foods, Sprouts, Mother's Market, and all these alternative markets where we can choose these types of, makeup products and skincare products. So I want to know what, just kind of moving back to your other books, what's your inspiration for starting Skinny Bitch? I just love saying your title.
You just want to say it. I know, it's just so much fun. Guys like to say it too.
I bet they do.
I do. My inspiration, I just thought this is something that people need to know about. It's like what you're doing. What you're doing is so amazing to help people get healthy. And you just want to scream it from the rooftops, because once you know something, it's just like, wait, how did I go all these years without knowing how important your diet is, how important it is to know, where our food is coming from. And I don't really care. I would love to see everyone be vegan. It's not going to happen. But what I want people to take from me or my books is find out where your food's coming. Do the best you can to get, the cleanest possible food that you can, and just be the healthiest that you can, and that's really what I'm here for, is just to be that food champion.
And you are. How many books have you written?
Like 12.
12 books. Kim, you have achieved and accomplished something amazing, to be honest.
Thank you.
Writing 12 books all about nutrition. They're all on veganism, right? They're all vegan-based.
They're all vegan-based, yes.
So, but I think that the message there is beautiful. Just at least getting people to be aware of where their foods are coming from, even down to the soil. The soil is rich with nutrients, and that's where, the vitamins, minerals, and enzymes really start, is in that soil. And so often that gets lost in a lot of our cropping and farming today, even here in California. So
definitely.
So I think that you're an inspiration.
Thank you. I'm really lucky that I get to do what I do, and I'm just appreciative of the people that support me and buy the books and everything. It's really great. So I can just take what I think somebody would want to read about and try to do it. And the cooking and the baking is my favorite part, because I love it. Yeah. I should be about 300 pounds, but with all the baking that I do, but I pawn it all off on my neighbors. I'm just trying to get them fat, not me.
You know, speaking of your neighbors, and what a great idea. I mean, that's just a quick side story. That's so funny you say that. I'm going to get my neighbors fat, not me. My baby sister, she worked for Haagen-Dazs many years ago, and we used to say when she'd walk out the door, have fun giving everybody diabetes.
Yeah,
you know, like,
there you go.
how sad. That's what we tell my sister before she goes to work. But that's funny. So my question is what does your family and friends think of your book and the words that you use? I mean, you know I'm a huge fan of the S and the B, but what do your friends and family think?
They think it's funny. I mean, I always had a potty mouth, so it doesn't surprise my friends and family. They like it. They think it's funny. And we were talking earlier about my son. His older friends that can read the title of the book, sometimes they're like, Jack, do you know the name of your mom's books? And he's like, yeah, whatever. Like it's nothing anymore.
He's a cool 7-year-old.
He's got it going on.
Very cool. Wow. Has anybody ever said, like, don't say the title or don't read it in front of my son? Or have you ever gotten any controversy with the book with your son's friends? Or
not with his friends specifically. They've all been pretty cool. But when it comes to trying to do products, it's kind of hard because Whole Foods, I think, a couple of the stores were good about putting our books in the store, but a couple of them were not so much because of the name. So that's held me back a few times. And wanting to do products, I was thinking about trying to do some frozen foods or something, healthy frozen foods. And then we were thinking, what are we going to do with that name? Because you can't just walk into Albertsons and, mom is shopping with her kids and look, there's a TV dinner there I want to buy with that name on it. So that kind of hinders me a little bit for the trademarking.
So, Kim, for our listeners, can you tell us what vegan actually means? What does it mean to you when you're writing in your books these vegan recipes?
That's a very good question. You can call it vegan, you can call it plant-based, but it is a diet that has absolutely no animal products whatsoever. So that means, from meat to honey, just no animal ingredients, no dairy, no eggs, no milk, no chicken, no fish.
So a lot of alternative type foods, because I noticed in your book you use Earth Balance, which is obviously a dairy-free butter using a lot of different oils versus the actual dairy butter.
Yes, so Earth Balance is my favorite, not trying to Earth Balance, throw it out there a million times.
Well, why not? We need to get them as a sponsor.
But they are my favorite. But since I do so much baking and they're a really great product, so that's my butter alternative. But yes, so you kind of have to find alternatives to what you would normally use. So, there's other protein sources. It can be anything from beans to lentils, tofu. There's seitan, there's tempeh, things like that.
Within the vegan recipes, I also noticed, and I didn't know if you did this, but do you use avocado to cream up a lot of any maybe chocolate mousse or any desserts that you make? You know what?
I did. I've thrown it in there a little bit, but you know what I like to use is silken tofu. Ooh. And you can put that in soups and put it in the blender, and when you blend it, it makes it thick and creamy, and you can make smoothies with it, and silken tofu goes a long way.
Veganism, or being vegan, can I say veganism? Is that
veganism's a
veganism?
Word? Yes.
Well, it is on this show. This is my show, and I make up what I want.
You can say any word you want to say.
Okay, good. Good. So being veganism is all about really whole food and Mother Nature, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's very close to what I do, which actually you got to experience today. I was very excited to have you at my office today and do my nutrition response testing with you. That was very exciting. You got to have a little nutritional exam so we could find out some imbalances, weakness in organs and glands, and what nutrients your body specifically wanted, right?
Okay, that was the coolest thing that I've had done in so many years. Honestly, everybody should run out and have this done because I don't know, it's I've never had that opportunity for someone to, it's you're digging deeper and you're finding things that, how else would you know this stuff? It's just the coolest thing ever.
Right, and I figured stuff out without even you telling me any of your case history.
Oh no, you didn't ask me any questions. Right. It was 15 minutes. at the most.
It was very quick. It's a very specific technique that allows me to find the weakness in the body and the right nutrient to fix that weakness. So it's nutrition response testing is absolutely my core of how I get people better in my practice. But one of the things that where I was going with this was whole food, is I use whole food supplementation, Standard Process, and Standard Process makes whole food supplements. So they actually have a farm, Palmyra, Wisconsin, in Palmyra, Wisconsin.
Imagine that.
Where they have a great desolate field of soil, and it's a very small town. I mean, very small. You drive by and you've passed it. So they grow their crops, and it goes from the ground to the bottle in 5 days. So they're concentrated whole foods that support minerals, enzymes, and all the catalysts needed for your body to absorb and utilize. So Standard Process is what I used with you today that helped your well, I won't exactly tell them what I found. I'll let that be private. Exactly.
We won't talk about the vampire because I needed lots of garlic. Right?
I love it, Kim. You're open like
vampires
me.
out there. Just tell them, air my stuff. I don't care. It's okay. I'm an open book.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, I love that. You are an open book. I got your book sitting right here in front of me. Well, I absolutely have been ecstatic to have you on the show today and talking about your different books that you have created. Is there any one book that you did want to talk about, or do you have another book coming out?
I do. I actually, just for the fun of it, my spare time, I put out a fiction book. So the first one is called Skinny Bitch in Love, and that one came out last year. And then next month, the second one comes out, Skinny Bitch Gets Hitched.
I expect that copy in my mailbox, Kim.
Next week, no problem.
Signed with an autograph?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Is your husband a vegan? Does he follow your cookbooks as well?
Oh my goodness. You know what's funny? He does a little bit, but what's even funnier is that the place he works at, they sometimes will use my recipes for their customers. He'll come home and he'll say, oh yeah, today we used one of your recipes at the club, and he works at a country club, and I thought that was really cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah,
that
so
is
they're throwing
really
some plant-based recipes for those country club people.
Excellent. Well, even country club people need to eat healthy.
Everybody needs to eat healthy, right?
Yes, exactly. So, Kim, how many copies have you sold of Skinny Bitch?
Skinny Bitch has sold over 2 million copies.
2 million copies?
And it's been translated into about 20 different languages. Pretty cool.
Wow.
I know. It's really neat. So, people will talk to me on Facebook and say, I'm from this country and I read your book, and I mean, it's amazing.
I mean, my jaw is straight open. I'm flabbergasted. I'm speechless.
It's
Imagine
pretty
that.
cool.
That is very cool, very neat, inspiring. You have worked so hard. You have been inspirational. You are beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
now you're getting into fitness, right?
Absolutely, because it just kind of took me a long time, but I'm finally there.
Oh, wow.
It's a good combination, Who would have thought? Health and fitness. Eating well and exercising too.
It's a great marriage. Way to intertwine them. Where can all my listeners buy your book?
There's a few bookstores left in the world, I think, Barnes & Noble, but there's also Amazon.
Oh, I love Amazon.
Amazon is great. So yeah.
Great.
Amazon.
So they just type in Skinny Bitch, and
My
then
books will
all
pop
your
up.
Okay, perfect. Everyone, make sure you go to Amazon.com. You can also go to Barnes and Nobles. Kim, can you spell your last name for our listeners so that they have no problem finding you?
I will, thank you. And it's difficult. It's French. I had to. My husband keeps saying we can change it if you want. I'm like, nah, it's cool. So it's Barnouin.
I was really hoping it was going to be Bitch. I thought that was your last name.
Yeah, a lot of people call me that too.
So, I can't imagine why. Wow. Well, I am so happy that you are on our show today. This has been a wonderful experience for me. Meeting you has been such a pleasure. You are fun, you are healthy, you're vibrant, you are hilarious, and you are exactly like you are in your books. And
thank you. I had so much fun with you today. It was awesome.
Oh, good. Will you come back?
I will. Will you ask me to come back?
I will.
Okay.
2 million copies, and I can get to you directly. Do you have any idea how important I feel? You're amazing.
Oh, well, so are you. Thanks for all the health stuff you did for me today.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my video with Kim Barnouin today. This is Skinny Bitch. I am so honored to have Skinny Bitch with me, and I just love to say your title over and over. But don't forget, check out her books. This one I have here, Skinny Bitch Bakery, full of delicious alternative recipes. You must check this out. Also, the other one that Kim's holding is Skinny Bitch Home Beauty and Style. It's a great book that really talks about the different chemicals and metals and different things in your home that you have that you can do alternatives and stuff to look for that you should be replacing that are unhealthy for you. Kim, is there anything you want to say about your books before we sign off?
No, you can just go to Amazon.com and look for them. Just type in Skinny Bitch and they'll all pop up.
Thanks so much for listening today. Be sure to join us next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for Holistic Healthline Radio. Whole health advice for everyday life. Have a great Sunday, everyone.